What happened to Amy Bradley? She's a young woman who disappeared on a cruise 28 years ago while vacationing with her family.
You're on a dream vacation with your family. The ship is gliding into a Caribbean port at sunrise. You step out onto your balcony, and your 23-year-old daughter is gone. No splash, no scream, no note. Hours later, 2,000 passengers are allowed to walk off the ship as if nothing happened. And somewhere in that chaos, the only person you're desperately looking for is missing. In the years that follow, strangers say they see her on tropical beaches and brothels and even on a disturbing adult website.
We've missed you for 27 years.
More than 2 decades later, Amy Bradley's case is considered to be one of the most baffling missing persons cases in
The family receives photos of a woman who looks eerily like her, wearing lingerie and a dead stare. But there's still no proof, no body, and no answers. This is the chilling story of Amy Lynn Bradley, the young woman who vanished from a cruise ship in 1998 and may have become one of the ocean's most disturbing mysteries. Welcome to Unsolved True Events. In this video, we'll walk through the timeline of Amy's disappearance, the most credible sightings, and the theories that still divide investigators today. Everything in this video is based on publicly available reports, interviews, and official documents. Remember, unless someone is convicted in court, all individuals mentioned are presumed innocent.
3 decades later, the disappearance of Amy Bradley is trending in true crime again. Public interest peaking after the release of a new Netflix documentary centered around her unsolved case.
Who was Amy? Amy Lynn Bradley grew up in Virginia, USA, in a close-knit family with her parents, Ron and Iva, and her younger brother, Brad. At 23, Amy had just graduated from Longwood University and was about to start a new job at a computer consulting firm. She was athletic, a strong swimmer, a trained lifeguard, and by all accounts, independent and outspoken. To celebrate her accomplishments, the Bradleys booked a Caribbean cruise aboard Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Seas. The plan was simple: a week of sun, music, and family time before Amy stepped into the next phase of her life. The last night on the ship, on March 21st, 1998, the family boarded the ship in Puerto Rico. Over the next couple of days, they hit ports like Aruba, enjoying the typical cruise experience. On the night of March 23rd, the Rhapsody of the Seas left Aruba, heading toward Curacao. That night, Amy and her brother Brad went to the ship's nightclub, a spot called the Disco. They drank, danced, and hung out with members of the ship's band, Blue Orchid. One of the musicians, known by the nickname Yellow, was seen dancing closely with Amy. Sometime after 3 a.m., Brad decided to call it a night and went back to the family cabin. Ship records show Amy returned to the room a few minutes later. The two of them sat out on the balcony, talking for a while before Brad went to sleep. At around 5:15 to 5:30 a.m., Amy's father, Ron, briefly woke up. He glanced out toward the balcony and saw Amy stretched out on a lounge chair. Believing she was just resting, he closed his eyes again. That was the last confirmed time anyone in her family saw her alive. When Ron woke up again around 6 a.m., Amy was gone. Her cigarettes and lighter were missing, but her shoes were still there. The balcony door was slightly open, and the ship was approaching Curacao. Ron assumed she had gone to get coffee or watch the sunrise. But as the minutes turned into an hour and Amy didn't return, the Bradleys felt something was very wrong. The ship's reaction and the failed search. The family reported Amy missing to ship staff and begged them to lock down the ship, to stop passengers from disembarking, and to broadcast an announcement asking everyone to look for her. According to Amy's parents, the crew refused to make an immediate announcement, saying it was too early and might disturb other guests. Passengers were allowed to walk off the ship into Curacao, while the person the family was desperate to find was nowhere to be seen. Performed a restricted search of common areas. But many parts of the ship and the thousands of passengers leaving the vessel were never properly checked before the gangway opened. By the time a more serious response kicked in, it was likely too late. Authorities eventually launched a 4-day air and sea search around Curacao and the shipping lanes the vessel had traveled. The Netherlands Antilles Coast Guard joined in with helicopters and boats. They found no trace, no body, no clothing, no belongings. Early on, people wondered, had Amy fallen overboard? Had she jumped? Investigators later stated that there was no evidence she fell or jumped, and her family insisted she had no history of suicidal behavior and was a strong, experienced swimmer. For the Bradleys, another possibility became more terrifying by the day, that Amy didn't leave the ship on her own at all. Sightings and theories. Once the initial search ended, the trail should have gone cold. But in the years that followed, people across the Caribbean, and even in the United States, reported seeing a woman who looked exactly like Amy. 1 month after the disappearance, a taxi driver in Curacao told the Bradleys he'd seen a distressed young woman matching Amy's description. He claimed she ran up to his cab near the dock, saying she needed a phone before being pulled away by men and disappearing into the crowd. This account was never officially confirmed. Later that same year, 2 Canadian tourists diving at a beach in Curacao reported seeing a woman on shore with 2 men. They said she looked anxious and kept trying to get their attention, as if she wanted to speak but was too afraid. When they later saw Amy's photo in the news, they became convinced it was her. In 1999, a U.S. Navy officer claimed he visited a brothel in Curacao and was approached by a woman who quietly told him, "My name is Amy Bradley, and I need help." Before he could act, she was allegedly pulled away. The Navy has stated he passed a polygraph test about the incident, but that sighting too has never been definitively proven. Then came the most disturbing clue of all. In 2005, the Bradley family received anonymous photos from an adult website. The images showed a woman on a bed, wearing lingerie with heavy makeup and a vacant expression. Experts who analyzed the photos said the woman strongly resembled what Amy might look like years after her disappearance, down to similar facial features and body type.
I will tell you that I will bet my career that this is Amy.
Around the same time, another witness in Barbados claimed she saw a woman in a department store restroom, accompanied by men who were talking about a deal. The woman allegedly told her, "My name is Amy," before being rushed away. Put together, these accounts fueled the darkest theory, that Amy might have been kidnapped and trafficked, taken off the ship and forced into the sex trade somewhere in the Caribbean or South America. Some journalists and criminologists have argued the cruise environment, heavy drinking, limited security, and easy access to ports could make it a hunting ground for traffickers. But there are problems with this theory too. None of the sightings were ever confirmed. The photos, while chilling, could not be authenticated beyond doubt. Investigators have never found hard evidence of a trafficking ring connected directly to Amy's case. Another theory suggests an accident or argument on the ship, perhaps involving someone she met that night, followed by a cover-up. Some people point to witnesses who claim they saw Amy with the band member Yellow early that morning, although he has always denied any involvement and has not been charged with any crime. And then there's the most straightforward explanation, that she somehow went overboard and simply vanished into the ocean, with currents carrying her body away before rescue teams ever began searching. To this day, none of these theories has been proven. The truth remains somewhere between rumor, fear, and the silence of the sea. Scams, heartbreak, and a family that won't give up. As if losing their daughter wasn't enough, the Bradleys became the targets of a cruel scam. In 1999, a man named Frank Jones claimed to be a former U.S. Special Forces officer who could rescue Amy. He told the family that his team had seen her guarded by traffickers, even repeating details about her tattoos and a lullaby her mother used to sing. Over time, the Bradleys sent him more than $200,000 to fund a supposed rescue mission. It was all a lie. Jones was later convicted of mail fraud and sentenced to prison. Amy was nowhere to be found. In 2010, 12 years after she vanished, Amy was declared legally dead. But her case is still listed as active, and the FBI continues to offer a reward for information leading to her recovery or to whoever is responsible. Her family has added their own reward on top of that. A new Netflix docuseries, Amy Bradley is Missing, has brought her story back into the spotlight, generating fresh tips and renewed public interest. Celebrities and true crime communities are sharing her face again, hoping that after more than 2 decades, someone who knows what happened will finally speak. Amy Bradley is missing. So what do you think happened to Amy Lynn Bradley? Did she fall from the ship in a tragic accident? Was she taken by someone she met on board? Or are the sightings true? And has she been held against her will for years, somewhere out there? If you have any information about Amy's disappearance, contact your local FBI office or visit the official tip site set up by her family. Even a small detail could matter. Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you'd like more deep dives into unsolved true events like this one, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share Amy's story so her name is never forgotten. Thanks for watching and stay safe.